Hello out there in social media land, and welcome to Career Limiting Moves, your personal guide to career planning. Like the Arlington Public School Board's recent decision approved by Dr. Barbara Kennenan, we don't profess to claim high standards as our mission statement because we know that you are doing that anyway. So we will never tell you how to succeed and limit our discussions exclusively to how not to fail. Besides, it will probably be some other guy who fails. So now you can get those great wise instructions ready to lay on that guy when he hits rock bottom. Put it in a social media post and someday he'll read it right. Read it right. Who got that? Correctly? Anywho.
Do you remember Dick Comey? He was the former FBI director, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the nation's top cop, ace detective, who was meeting with the president and taking copious notes, we are told, on every meeting. But he claimed that somehow those big clues slipped right past him and he woke up surprised one day to learn that he was fired. Has that ever happened to you? Well, don't despair, because today on Career Limiting Moves, we are going to help you to spot the big signs to let you know that exit visas are imminent. And you can get an early start on getting a brand new job, telling everyone how great you really are before you have to explain why you got yourself fired.
Everyone is just tired about Russian collusion by now, so let's take a more recent example for instructional purposes only. We introduce you to our career kamikaze demonstrator, Assistant Superintendent Linda ERDOS. She holds a BS in English with a minor in education and formerly worked in public affairs for the Washington Post before coming to the Arlington Public Schools, where she is, as most everyone is in Arlington, one of our proud Democrats. So that means that she is, educated and enlightened. So let's take a gander at what education is all about.
Perhaps you heard the recent news story about the decision to change the name of a local high school named for Generals George Washington and Robert E. Lee. Well, according to official press reports, Assistant Superintendent Linda ERDOS was the head honcho, the big cheese, the go-to guy on everything that had anything at all to do with this decision, staffing and recommendation to change the name of Washington Lee High School. Take a good look and just think, one day, this could be me too, or that other guy. You never know what you will do until you are in that particular situation. Well, a few days ago, the big news story broke on television and on the internet by a major local broadcast news affiliate that some students at Washington Lee were not quite pleased with the decision that Assistant Superintendent Linda ERDOS led and decided to get themselves a lawyer and sue the board where she works. Now, you would figure that when the press decided to speak to Assistant Superintendent Linda ERDOS, after promising to keep an open dialogue with the public since August 2017 to change the name of Washington Lee High School was beginning to be discussed, Assistant Superintendent Linda ERDOS would open up her busy schedule to make whatever time was necessary to be fully open. Complete disclosure. How much thought could it possibly take to discuss a lawsuit brought by a few high school kids still dealing with the simplicities of life like acne, braces, and who you're going to take to your prom, right? But somehow that's not what happened. That's not how it went down. No. Something suddenly came up, and Assistant Superintendent Linda ERDOS was not available to speak with the reporter. Does that sound like trouble? See that scene in the movies? Kind of evasive? Lesson number one. If you find yourself doing anything like this, anything at all, I'm sure that there are places to spread your wings elsewhere, and you might want to start making a few calls.
But let's take a closer look at this report from the news reporter. It says that Even though they could not reach Assistant Superintendent Linda ERDOS personally, they were able to recover an email that she sent. Is this some kind of spy movie? Did the investigative reporters find the pumpkin papers? It does not say. But what it does say is that in the email, allegedly, Assistant Superintendent ERDOS said that she had just learned about the lawsuit that day, July 19th, 2018. Now, Assistant Superintendent Linda ERDOS can always deny later that it was her who even wrote that email, because we do not have a picture or anything, and just a quote about what the press said that she wrote. But just for argument's sake, let's assume that it's not fake news and that she actually did write this email obtained by a press reporter. Isn't it a little odd that the big cheese, the head honcho, the go-to guy, is somehow not aware that something as big as a lawsuit was lurking around and getting ready to fall on the Board of Education? How do you miss something as big as that, right? Are we on the Titanic? There had to be rumors, social media posts, crazy people protesting and screaming at meetings or something. A lawsuit just doesn't fall out of the air. Well, maybe it was a surprise attack. If the Russians could steal an election without anyone knowing about it, why not, right? But if you find yourself as the go-to guy and something big like this just sneaks up on you, just stop by the mailroom and load up a few of those big document boxes. Tell the folks in the mailroom you are moving. It's not exactly a lie. You're going places. But let's read on, because like we say at the library, hashtag Arlington Reads, right? Blah, blah, blah. She just learned of the lawsuit today. Blah, blah, blah. And none of the school board members had time to review it. Now, recall that this is a story written on Thursday, June 19th, 2018. But on background, as we say in the press, highly placed sources at WUSA 9 informed us that they knew about the story on June 17th, 2018. That's the Tuesday before that Thursday. Besides the fact that we knew, and we are in no way even remotely related to working with the Arlington Public Schools. In fact, they say, keep us away from their schools. How did the press know before any member of the Arlington Public School Board that there was a lawsuit filed? Again, if you find yourself in that situation where neither you nor anyone that you work with knows that there is a big problem, it is generally not a good sign. And you might want to think seriously, very seriously, about your future. Maybe even take a class on that thing you thought you would prefer doing, because your future in your current career field may not be your thing.
But our investigative reporters were persistent and were able to uncover some more bits of information to attempt to explain how in the world Assistant Superintendent Linda ERDOS, head honcho, big cheese, go-to guy, somehow woke up surprised to learn that there was a lawsuit filed in court. In fact, on June 8th, 2018, how many days is that? Who knows? It is over a month before July 19th, 2018. There is an email to Superintendent Patrick K. Murphy, her boss, asking him to intercede to avert a pending lawsuit. Captain, there's an iceberg. Trying to avert a pending lawsuit and an email to Washington Lee High School PTA President Tish Johnson, requesting her assistance to locate families that might want to join in filing a lawsuit to file an injunction. We're manning the lifeboats, Captain. Hello, ding, ding, ding. Okay, not everybody hears those bells. Got a guy in Congress who doesn't hear bells. Sleigh bells ring. Are you listening? Now, since Assistant Superintendent Linda ERDOS told the press that she was keeping everyone informed about the name change decision and engaging in open dialogue with the community, and open dialogue with the students, and open dialogue with the staff, open dialogue with the parents, why aren't the PTA president and her boss telling her about important things like a pending lawsuit 1 month before she is surprised by a call from the press? A light has to come on at this point, and if you're struggling on this problem, just turn off the video right now, place it on the shelf, and come back when you've had a little more life experience and can deal with this. Anyway, we have only two possible scenarios that may explain this. Our go-to guy is the 12th man on the deal team and last to know, because folks are beginning to distance themselves, body odor, from the fall guy. Or, number two, there is always the possibility that she may not be telling the truth. It's a possibility. I'm not saying that anyone is lying. I'm saying it's a possibility. And if you like to lie about everything and believe that nobody will ever find out about it, that may be an even bigger possibility for you if you were in this situation. But let's look at how this story ends for now. Apparently, Assistant Superintendent Linda ERDOS had a moment of clarity, developed some situational awareness, which is always a good thing. You want situational awareness. Stay alert, stay alive. And has decided to talk about this problem, these kids. Remember, kids. Needs to be discussed with some lawyers. To think, when we were kids, trouble meant something like stealing a school mascot and showing up at the pep rally. If my principal needed a lawyer at that point, I'd be very, very concerned about what was being taught at my school. But times have certainly changed. Kids, I don't know what's wrong with these kids today, but if I were you and I found myself in a school with any of this coming back to me like deja vu, at least now you know what to do, right? Do the right thing. Just the facts, man. Honesty is always the best policy. What's good for the teachers is good for the kids. And that's it for now. Happy hunting, and I'll see you at the top, or from the top. Your body, your choice, right? Hey, I ain't your mama. No text. Can we get the next graphic? That's the wrong graphic. That's the July 8th.
Non incautus futuri is the motto of Washington and Lee University, not unmindful of the future. My name is Major Mike Webb, and I am running for U.S. Congress. In liberty, with honor and excellence, the South shall rise again. Honest. This advertisement was authorized by Mike Webb.